Hello and welcome everyone. This is Phoenix with your Patriot Health Report for the weekend of May 24th, 2025. All the health facts you need to know for the Patriot on the go. And as usual, I'm joined by Bob Gilpatrick of Boomers Forever Young. And we're going to be talking about something pretty interesting. There have been some changes recently, turning points, if you will, in a lot of different categories. And one of them is health. If you are a member of Patriot Intel Report, as a matter of fact, today I was talking about the turning point. And the turning point I referenced was a lot of different things, economic, geopolitical, energetic. But Bob reminded me, he said, Phoenix, there's one more big turning point, and he's going to discuss that with us today, and it is. We see things changing on all the aspects of life. We truly are at a true turning point. So to get all those details and all the facts, we'll go right to our expert here, Bob Gilpatrick of Boomers Forever Young, joining us from St. Petersburg, Florida. Bob, how are you? How are things going? And anything new going on down at Boomers Forever Young?
Hello, Phoenix. I'm doing very well, thank you. And yeah, there are things new down at Boomers Forever Young, some of which I can tell you about, and some are to be announced in the future. And, it's interesting, Phoenix, with the turning point in health, there's, the new report out, from the commission, the Make America Healthy Again Commission, and it's outlining the catastrophe, which is our current situation with health. And so you have this just immense disaster of what's happening with children's health. But at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, for people who are not participating in that disaster, but are instead healthy, their opportunities are continuing to grow and express, so that the opposite of being alive during the time when the United States population is the sickest it's ever been, the people who are healthy and paying attention can actually have the exact opposite. They can be healthier than the healthiest people who ever lived. And so we'll talk today about both of those things. What came out with the commission, Trump's commission for Making America Healthy, and how bad the report was and how badly we need reform. But at the same time, we're going to talk about some amazing, great things that are happening that are just so far opposite from the disaster. It's hard to believe. But before we start, also just want to tell you, people that are familiar with our products or you want to find out, we're having really great sales right now. And one of our most popular products is our barley products, either heirloom barley or our ancient gladiator barley. And right now, those are on sale, buy one, get one half off. And we have other products that are on sale too that are 50% off, including our probiotics, our flax lignans, our olive leaf extract, and right now also anybody that spends $150 on our site is going to get a canister of free barley. So this is a time right now where the summer is coming, the harvests are occurring of our barley and flax and like that. And so new crops are going to be coming in. So we now know that the weather was good enough during the early growing season that we're going to have more. And so we're allowed to put this last year's harvest on sale. Now, these products have 4-year expiration date, so they're still as fresh as brand new. But we like to turn it over every year as soon as we know how the harvest went, and so that's why the sale. And
Fantastic.
you know, also Phoenix, we got a couple of amazing testimonials that I wanted to read for you, and because these are some of these are a first, all right? So listen to this. This is a lady, Paula, who wrote in. It says, I am 60 and I'm disabled and I've been through a huge medical crisis. But due to my faith and the great products that I'm taking with Boomers, I'm now able to consider going back to work part time, possibly more. And I'm encouraging others to use your products so that they can do what I have done, increase their strength and energy and stamina.
Wow, that's great.
The best thing you can do for yourself is to try these products and find out for yourself. They're money back guaranteed. I share it with everyone, and everyone is looking at me like, how are you coming back from such horrible medical circumstances alive and well? And this is kind of what I'm talking about, Phoenix. People at age 60 get into huge medical problems that even could lead to their death from the regular system of sick care that we have, but encounter the right help and the opposite happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now listen to this one. This is another woman named Sue who says, I give Myotrol, which is our product that helps build muscle, right? Says a 5-star rating on faith. I was guided to give it to my partner who takes it daily. I cannot speak directly to its benefits specifically because my partner is 90 and has serious heart and concussion issues happening, making measurement nearly impossible. But still, he has not been overcome by any of these challenges. Some things cannot be changed in this dimension, but we do all we can. Now, listen to this. When we opened the first purchase box, actual light spewed out of the box, and that told me all I needed to know about Boomers and their products. We'll soon be putting this in our employee break kitchen for everyone.
Oh wow, the light.
Yeah.
How's
And
Rolly
so,
do
so
that? What do you? How do you guys pack that light in there, Bob? Come on, man. How do you do that? Tell us a
yeah,
secret.
well, the way we do it, the way we do it is we have the packing paper. What we're able to do is we're able to put it into a gaseous form with a special transformation box that we have, and we pass it through the wormholes where it absorbs the light of creation that creates photons, and then we bring it back down through the wormholes and we pack the products in that paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's pretty good. That's a really good explanation. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
And we don't. I don't know of any other fulfillment centers that put the light of creation in the box.
neither do I.
Actually, I don't know what she's talking about,
I know.
Phoenix, but
I know.
somehow light came out of the box when she opened
Well, I
it.
tell you what, we're entering into that time right now. I was talking about the turning point. We're talking about the turning points, and we are. When I talk about turning points, and like Bob's talking about the health turning points, I'm talking about everything energetically. Also, we're literally, if you look at it today, on as this recording is going out on the 24th, we're looking at an energetic change astrologically that we haven't seen for 30 years, and basically we're setting up the next 30 years. So it's very important kind of get your bearings on today. And when the box of your morning opens up, like Bob's boxes, and the light shines out, the light of day, set your intent. Basically, it sounds like what she did also, and her husband, her partner. And yeah,
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. I think they call it a premature cognitive commitment.
Oh, yeah.
It, you know, well, in regard to this turning point, Phoenix. you know, President Trump created this commission. You know, he signed an executive order back in February, and he established the commission to make America healthy again. And since that time, they've been working on it. RFK Jr. and the director of the FDA, director of the CDC, have been putting together a report uh, to fulfill that executive order to alert basically the whole country what the state of health is, and they did it from the standpoint of children, and of course it applies to adults too, and and they're talking about, you know, what the federal government's going to do, and they're talking about leading, you know, a coordinated transformation of the food system, the overall health system, and our scientific systems. So this is more than just, hey, we're going to, you know, take a look at seed oils and a high fructose corn syrup. This is the whole deal. They're looking at everything that contributes to poor health, how we can change it so that it also has a positive benefit on our national security and our economic security. Because you're looking at, um, you know, the need for a complete realignment so that people can live longer and healthier lives, and that's exactly what they said in the report. And they want the federal government to be supportive of people's goals to live long, healthy lives, and not the opposite, which is what they're saying in the report is happening right now.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
true.
and they said in 100 days, which would have been, you know, from Thursday the 22nd, they are going to be issuing the prescription for these ongoing issues, and that comes out, you know, to releasing it in August, and it's going to be in the form of a whole long list of recommendations for the federal government to enact to begin turning around the health of Americans.
I heard there
And
was actually a big list of foods that they're going to actually ask for them to ban also. Did you hear that?
yeah, yes, and ingredients in foods as well. And so it's because most foods that people eat are not just a single, you know, stalk of celery, right? It's processed foods that it might have dozens of chemicals in it. And I don't know if people saw the fiasco at one of the hearings recently, where the one of the top executives of Ben and Jerry's ice cream showed up at the hearing and started screaming along with a bunch of other protesters,
I saw
and
the
they had,
report of that. Yeah.
yeah, they had to drag them out of the building, kicking and screaming. And turns out, upon investigation later, that all the bad things they're talking about banning, the, you know, the stabilizers and the high fructose corn syrup, all that stuff is in Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And
Wow.
and they're talking about other companies that make high quality ice cream that doesn't have any of the bad things in it. And so they're wondering, you know, why the Ben and Jerry's guy was there protesting, right?
Have you ever seen? I'm going to bring this up really quick, kind of on topic, off topic. Have you ever seen the videos where people take ice cream sandwiches? And I think it started because someone accidentally did it. They left one outside on the deck or something on a plate, and it didn't melt. It was in the summertime. So people started, it was like a short viral thing where people would actually get ice cream sandwiches from the grocery store, you know, in frozen section, put them on a plate, set them outside in the sun, and Bob, these things don't melt. They will just
Yeah,
sit there. They'll get up to like 90 degrees, and whatever that alleged ice cream substance is doesn't melt.
yeah, yeah. Well, the Ben and Jerry's has that compound in their ice cream because they've designed it so that it doesn't melt. Um, and it's that was one of the that was one of the things they were talking about. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah,
very true. But they
weird.
also, cited a bunch of stats like with children. They're saying that depression in children has doubled, in the last 10 years. And now 1 in 5 children is now considered to be obese, not overweight, but obese. And 1 in 31 children are diagnosed with autism. And so they went in and cited all these different things, including there's 40% of all children, Phoenix, have a chronic disease, whether it's asthma or allergies or obesity, autoimmune disease, behavioral disorders. And it used to be that chronic diseases were primarily older people. Now it's 40% of the younger people, and it's 30 million children have chronic disease.
That's crazy. I
Yeah,
read some of those reports about, the autism and all these different things, and one of them they did the stats. They're doing all across the United States, and noticed that Amish children have almost zero autism and allergies. Also, hardly no allergies and no autism in the entire community. And the primary difference between those children and other children is that the Amish don't get vaccinations.
yeah, yep,
So
absolutely.
I'm just laying that right there. I'm not going to say another word,
Yep,
backing
yep,
away from this one, but yeah, it's a great truth. And,
yep.
reality is reality. So,
Yeah,
um,
so listen to this too, Phoenix. You'd be interested in this. They said 75% of American youth being age 17 to 24, do not qualify to serve in the military due to obesity, asthma, allergies, autoimmune disease, or a behavioral disorder. 75% do not qualify.
oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness.
this guy, Marty McCary, who's the director of the FDA, the new director, he's saying, this is his quote: "Now we have the most obese, depressed, disabled, medicated population in the history of the world, and we cannot keep going down the same road." Said, so this is an amazing day. He's referring to Thursday. I hope this marks a grand pivot from a system that is entirely reactionary to a system that now will be proactive. And they they went on to talk about the medications and how many kids are being prescribed medications, not only antidepressants, but antipsychotic medications have gone up 800% in a 15-year period.
Oh, that's insane. Oh, no pun intended. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
mean to offend
exactly.
anyone, but it's insane
Yeah.
that's
And,
happening.
and if you look at the amount of drugs the American kids are given, it's 19 times more than the children in Japan.
Wow.
19 times. And then they went into the whole thing about fluoride and all the studies. They looked at 74 different studies, peer reviewed studies, that were referring to children that were drinking fluoridated water and their IQs versus children that didn't. And it's just really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And their conclusion was that the next generation, the children that are coming up now, are, if nothing changes, they're absolutely going to live shorter lives than their parents. And they're going to be less healthy all along the way than their parents were during their lives. And so they're going to be coming out with the new policies, and some of it's going to be related to environmental policies that affect the quality of our health. Um, and they said that as you do, good public health policy and environmental policies end up forming good economic policy. So they're looking at this in a really holistic way. And uh, as its effect on the whole society. What is it when you have terrible, terrible health conditions? How does it affect the entire society? And they're going to make comprehensive recommendations. And then at that point, I think the battle begins against all of those who don't want this happening. And a big part of what they were criticizing is the level of toxins, Phoenix. And so, what we always tell people is, if you want to get a clean slate of toxins, you need to go through a cleanse and get the pesticides and the tire dust and the plastics and all of the chemicals. Children are born with an average of 472 toxic chemicals in their blood when they're born that they got from their mom, right? And so if you want to get those out, and you're serious about doing it and you want to give us a call, we'll help you to do that. We have two different products that you can't take both at the same time right at the beginning because it's too much detoxification, but we can help you do that. And the other thing, Phoenix, is really good for people to know, because almost everyone knows somebody who has a child that has trouble focusing and concentrating, ADHD, right? And we have found time and time again that it's because of their nutrition, right? They're eating terrible foods. They're drinking soda pop. They're eating ice cream with, anti-melting compounds in it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's no wonder they can't focus. And then when we help those children to get well nourished, they all of a sudden, the problem that they were going to be medicated for magically seems to no longer exist. And so if you have a child like that, or you know somebody who does, have them get in touch with us. Those children can take little bits of the product called Boomer Boost, which was designed for elderly people that had heart problems, but it's comprehensive nutrition, and many children have been able to take it as well and get better from different issues like ADHD and depression. Right? And especially if it's depression, let us know so that we can help you. And
Very good.
the other thing I was going to say, Phoenix, is this is a massive time of transformation. It almost feels like we've been waiting our whole life for this moment to occur. And I personally have felt like I've been living in almost like quasi prison, right? Where there's this aura of negativity hanging in the air, and there's something in it that's like waiting to get you. Whether you misspeak on a podcast, whether you have something in a blog post, maybe you say something when you're out in public that's a truth that you're speaking, but somebody didn't like that truth being expressed. And so it creates a very negative energy for the world when you're living in that environment. And I believe that this time right now is the very beginning of the experience of freedom from all of that. And we get a chance to go through a transformation where we can begin to consider that it's okay to look around with our head held high and express our beliefs. And we can go through this transformation. And, with the opposite also being transformation. But if you succumb to the continued brainwashing that's been going on, you'll be in transformation, all right. You'll be in a trance that was formulated, by the continued attempts of the people that want to make you believe that up is down and down is up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a whole battle now that has shifted to ourselves. I believe the battle of the society has begun. And there's large forces on the good side this time that outweigh the other side, where that wasn't true recently. But now it is. And so it's up to us to be ready for the new, right? Because, right is going to become normal versus, propaganda designed to bring people down. And in the near future, really great health policy and transformation of our soil, our medications, our food, et cetera, that in the future is going to become normal, and we'll be able to actually have a day come when we can say, you know what, the FDA and the CDC, they're actually on our side. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
being
that.
able to say that.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Because
and we're going to have to begin to think about how we can get used to this.
Yes.
And also with great prosperity, right? With the changes in the financial systems. I heard the other day that people are going to be able to start to tokenize gold.
Oh, yeah. They're tokenizing all kinds of things with the passage of the Genius Act and the great big beautiful bill, the economic bill. It's all together. It's all coming around. We are at a turning point, Bob, not only with health, like you're telling us, but also economically, energetically, all kinds of changes, big turning points. And it is hard. A quote came to mind when you were talking a moment ago. In the empire of lies, truth is treason. But you know what? We're overcoming that. We are getting past that time. We are at a turning point. And this has been done before by other nations, everyone. This isn't something undoable. As an example, the nation of Russia, GMOs are totally against the law. You cannot grow GMO plants, crops, or any food that's considered or is a GMO is banned from selling or purchasing or using in food production in the entire nation, because they know it's not good for you. So nations can do this. We will do this. We see the process starting. It may be frustrating. It may be that it may appear it's not happening fast enough, but at least it is happening. It is.
Yeah. Yep. And Phoenix, I was saying at the beginning, with all of the terrible things that are in place right now that are literally killing our children and killing adults too, there's amazing things happening on the other end of the spectrum. And things that we used to believe were just absolute truths that were going to happen to people as they age, where we're going to eventually break down and lose all of our muscle, and our joints would get crumbly, and et cetera. Well, that's all related to genetic expression, right? It's epigenetics. And as you age, your genes are expressed less and less. And so that's what is leading to your decline. But we now have products like Myotrol that you can take by mouth that totally reverses that goes and reverts your epigenetic capacity back to an age 30, 40, 50, in some cases, 60 years earlier. And a pill can actually reverse your capability to produce energy, muscle, brain-derived nootropic factor. And we see that now with hundreds of testimonials of people that have used this product, Myotrol, which is the complete opposite end of the spectrum of seed oils and high fructose corn syrup. And at the same time of all the bad, these amazing good things are also happening. And that's what people are going to get to move to, not just finally free from this crushing energy of terrible health policy, but emerge into a place that's almost unbelievable. It's like science fiction. But that science fiction aspect of health and wellness is here right now and is just beginning. And we're right at the very beginning part of it. The very first epigenetic editor was released 9 months ago that called Myotrol, and you can get it from us. And the next ones and the next ones and the next ones are coming along down the road. 3 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, there's going to be one after another coming out of the laboratories that are at this highly, highly advanced state. And just wanted to be the bearer of good news. Yeah, we got a terrible report on the state of our health. Are we in the midst of getting it fixed? Yes. Will it be a giant battle? Yes. Is amazing stuff also happening? Absolutely yes.
Well, Bob, it is. It's all amazing stuff. And like you said just now, this is just the beginning. It is just the beginning. But unfortunately, we're at the end of our conversation today. We're running out of time here, everyone. So, Bob, could you give us some closing thoughts and contact info and all that, and words of wisdom before we roll out of here, sir?
Yeah. So give us a call if you want some help. It's 800-861-4609. We're open Monday to Friday on Eastern Time, 9 to 5. We're at 5401 Central Avenue in St. Petersburg. If you're in town, call ahead. So if you stop by, I'll be here to say hello. And go to PatriotIntelReport.com. If you want to hit our website, click on the lady in the blue lightning on the top left of the screen. That'll bring you over to our site. And just final thoughts, I would say start being aware and being ready for this massive change. Be ready to, accept where right is going to become normal, where we're going to have great prosperity and freedom from fiat, and we're going to have freedom of speech, and begin preparing your body energetically to move away from that feeling of being suppressed and kind of hiding in a corner to opening up and being able to express the full greatness of yourself. In the future, it's going to be okay.
Very good. And I agree 100%. In the future, it will be okay. And guess what? Right now, everyone, it is okay. But it's going to be so much better. Bob, thank you so much for everything you shared with us today. And I agree 100%. This is a turning point. It's really, really something to look forward to and something to be very positive about. And again, everyone, you have any questions, you have any comments or anything you'd like to talk to Bob about, give him a call. It's the number he just provided, and they'll be glad to help you. Bob, thank you so much, sir, for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Phoenix. I'll look forward to next time.
So will I, and that's it, everyone. That is your Patriot Health Report for this weekend. Again, Turning Point, we are there right now. Take advantage of it and ride the wave of the new energies and the new direction we're going into. Until the next Patriot Health Report, everyone, be well, be strong, be healthy. And until the next one, Phoenix and Bob out.